Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. This is for episode 14 now. It's called MM54. And spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen tonight's episode yet, you'll want to watch it before you watch this review. But that said, I mean, if you missed the episode and you just want to watch my reviews to kind of get a recap of each episode as we go through here for Fear the Walking Dead, totally fine, no problem. You can feel free to go ahead and do that because, to be honest, I mean, as far as like the spoilers go, you know, I'm just not sure about Fear the Walking Dead right now. I mean, I'm just really not sure. Okay, so I felt like the ending of last week's episode, Blackjack, was really good, and it kind of got us, started off on the right foot with regards to this episode. That said, though, this was one of the strangest episodes I've ever seen for The Walking Dead. This one was directed by Lou Diamond Phillips, who has never directed an episode of Fear the Walking Dead yet. This is his first episode for Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think he's ever directed an episode of The Walking Dead that I can remember. I could be wrong in that, but I'm just looking through his filmography here, and he's done like he's got tons of experience. He's done like a million different things. I mean, he's been directing, it looks like, filmography since he's actor, that kind of thing as well too. But he's been involved in film since the mid 1980s. So obviously he's, yeah, but then you see this episode through, and it's one of the strangest feeling episodes of Fear the Walking Dead ever. Either that, or maybe there's something wrong with me, because of course these are reviews, so it's hard to be as objective as you can be with this one. But I'm watching this one through, and it just didn't feel right to me at all. I mean, from the very beginning of the episode, so we start things off at the beginning, and you have kind of a villain concentration here for Martha. So we start things off, and we get to see her, we get to see an origin kind of, a few origin scenes here for her, so that we can kind of understand how she developed and became this way, where she goes into this clear mode. And it had a pretty good connection piece at the end. The ending of it was pretty good, because you basically have her side as you have Morgan starting to talk on the radio, and I guess they first kind of connected, or she first found out who Morgan was. But before that, we find out she's like an English teacher for grammar. She's like extremely orderly. She's pissed off because the person wrote further on the box instead of farther. I don't help. There's the sneak peek that we saw, the promo part where she kills the one lady who's helping. And then they go into this montage where she's like going around and murdering people with walkers on sticks. And it's got like this goofy music, and I'm like, what? How does that work at all? Like, what are you going for here? Is she supposed to be fearsome? Is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be silly? It just didn't work for me at all. It was like, what are you trying to do with this introduction for her? Are you trying to make her scary? Are you trying to make her a Fear the Walking Dead, a fearsome villain, like Taka, for example, in Season 3, which was done amazing, fantastic. In this case, it's like, I don't even know what this is supposed to be anymore, because, sometimes I feel like I'm watching Z Nation. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching, Fear the Walking Dead when I see the OG characters like Alicia and her scenes where she's with Charlie in this one. And then, there's certain times when I kind of feel like I'm watching The Walking Dead, but just certain scenes, like when they're on the rooftop and you see the cityscape, and it kind of reminds me of some of the stuff we got to see in Atlanta in the original Walking Dead. But what a strange kind of choice for this. And then they do this horrible scene with her where she's going into madness. So she's turning into madness, which she's like laughing, and it's like speed cut through here, and it just doesn't work at all for me. It's like, what am I watching? This is horrible. I mean, I usually let stuff slide. I'm pretty into it, trying to enjoy the experience. But whenever I see something like that looks like honestly, it looks like a YouTube video, like something I do, like if I do something stupid and cringy and people call me out, they're like, Trev, that's cringy. And I'm like, I know, it's what it is, right? But then you see something like that in an actual official episode for a villain introduction. And it's like, I'm just sitting here the whole time saying to myself, we don't need to see this. We don't need to see this. We don't need to see this. We get it. At this point in time, after all the episodes of The Walking Dead, I mean, this is episode 51 for Fear the Walking Dead, and the original Walking Dead has done over 100 and however many episodes it is now. So you're like 160 plus episodes into the Walking Dead universe at this time. We get it. You're doing a villain origin. You're showing us some scenes about how Martha turned into the crazy clear lady or the filthy lady, whatever you want to call her, or just Martha. Fine, whatever. We get that. So with the exception of the first part of it, and the end of her introduction there, where it rolls into the credits and you get to see her first talk with Morgan, everything else with it was just so strange to me. Like the burying part was okay, where she's got that, and you can kind of feel for it. But man, it was way too long. It could have at least half of that stuff with her could have been cut out, because we don't need to see it all. We get it. We get to see her with her husband or whatever, and they're in the car, and he's dying, and he's turning, and she's burying him, she's doing all this, and that's pretty much enough for us. Maybe the link up at the end there, but the choice of music and kind of the madness turn where she's going into madness, it was just, oh man, it was so like just oh. So things didn't start out that good for the episode for me, but then it got pretty good because we got to see the continuation of what's actually happening now, where she's going around in the SWAT vehicle, and you have them all. They get down and they decide to get out, and the truck. There's the explosion, and you have Wendell, who I like that one where he actually got a shot off on her, which was fun. That was cool. And basically you have kind of a who's got the upper hand part there, where Morgan is like basically trying to talk her down. Wendell's like, screw this, I'm going to shoot her. He tries to shoot her a couple times. He gets her once, a little bit, and then the other time he hits the door. And we basically have her leaving in the SWAT vehicle as a herd of zombies starts to come in, because there's all the noise from the explosions and everything. And you start to see it kind of building behind our fear group as they're kind of running away from it. And throughout the episode, we get to see scenes with Alicia and Charlie as they're kind of, traveling along here, I guess. Alicia wants to bring her to the beach, this kind of thing. And it ended off okay at the end, as you get to see her kind of pick up John's hat. And they say, pretty much they're saying, look, holy shit, and they're all happy and stuff like this at the end. And they look across, and then it cuts to the credits. It's like, just show John and Strand, can you? We know that's what they're seeing. You're not being clever by not showing us at the end kind of the scene where John's jumping up in the air going like this. Like, it's just, of all the scenes to cut, like, it's like, that's not really a cliffhanger. We already know who it is she's going to see or what they're going to see, unless they do some kind of twist with it or something. But, so that stuff with them was okay. I mean, a lot of walking around, some talking, that kind of thing. And then, so, it's kind of nice. Alicia gets to bring Charlie to the beach, and then you get to see Strand and John, the whole thing, and they're reunited. But they cut just at the most important part of that. There could have been a good kind of send-off for the episode that would have made me think a little bit better about the episode. So then we get the parts here where basically the group is being chased by the herd of zombies. Morgan tries to say that, this is not going to work, them trying to outrun them, because what's happening is they're having to drag Wendell, which is a problem, right? Because they're having to drag him, and they're going to eventually get tired. And this is something that they've touched on in the Walking Dead universe a few times here, which is that at the beginning, yes, we can outrun zombies, but one of the big problems is that if you keep trying to run away from them constantly, and they're on your trail all the way, eventually you're going to get tired. You're going to either pass out or whatever, and they're just kind of going to slowly, methodically keep walking and keep going. Obviously, they don't sleep. They don't need to eat. They don't need to stop for breath or anything like that. So they're not as fast as you, but they're just going to keep going forever. So he decides. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them saying we gotta find a place to hold up, or we gotta figure out a way where we can kind of give them the slip or something. So they go into this building, right? And and they basically, lock the thing down. Which, I mean, it was okay. But the thing with it that was weird is so it reminded me of some of the earlier parts in the Walking Dead original series, where you see stuff like that, even as back from the very first season in the first couple episodes there with Rick and Andrea, and how they kind of put a barricade in front of the windows and that kind of thing. So that was okay, right? And then you get them kind of going through, and there's like a sense of urgency, obviously, because the door's breaking and everything's breaking in. You have Jim here as well too, where it's revealed later on that he's bitten, but it's like, who gives a shit? I mean, like I predicted that one that he wouldn't last the season. Maybe I'll be wrong about the others, which is Sarah and Wendell, because I actually think Wendell's kind of cool and Sarah's kind of cool too. So I kind of like them. But for Jim, it's like, his beer, and basically his final words are like, I have beer to make, and it's like what? Like, what do I want? Like, I could swear I'm watching Z Nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could swear, and it's not really a knock against Z Nation, but it doesn't fit inside the Walking Dead world. That's the problem. It fits in something like Z Nation, where it's supposed to be silly and it's supposed to be kind of goofy, and that's how Z Nation is. That doesn't necessarily fit with The Walking Dead, and it's just weird. Then there's a line from Sarah where she says, "Let's stir some beef." Let's stir some beef. So, and I mean, I had to take a break in a minute here, when we went to commercials. So I missed the part where they went up to the rooftop, right? Where they got to the rooftop. But I know they were heading up there, and there was walkers on the stairs. There's walkers stretching their arms out, the doors everywhere, this kind of thing as they're going up. And they decide to go up because they can't get out in any other way. So fine, whatever. They go up, they lock themselves in, they're on the roof, whatever. And they're kind of stuck there. And that's pretty much where they end off the episode. But, as the scenes are going through, they're like trying to find the generator and this kind of stuff. And then you've got Al, so she goes for it. And it's just this like back and forth, all over the place kind of stuff that was just so unbalanced and so strange to watch through, at least for me. And then in addition to that, you have the gray filter, because they use a Z Nation-esque filter in Fear the Walking Dead this year, right? Or at least, the whole year, because in the first half, they had the different time lines, so you could tell the previous timeline with the one more normal filter, and then the kind of the up-to-date one has sort of like a gray, soft filter, sepia tone type of filter on it, which is fine. But the problem is when you put them inside of a building and you have that filter, and then it's dark around, it's hard to see what the hell is going on, and that's what I got a lot of in this episode. It's like, okay, now, so Althea's going there, he's there, Jim gets smashed into here, and then Morgan's there, and then they're over there, and then and then they're on the radios, and then it's like, I'm just like, what's going on? So then eventually they get their way up to the rooftop, whatever, it is what it is. You get to see the cityscape, which is pretty cool. You get to see a whole bunch of zombies kind of coming in, this kind of thing. And it's the third last episode of the season. So keep in mind, we only have 2 episodes left of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. And this season's over. It's been renewed for 5th season, so there's no danger of it being canceled or anything. But you see all this stuff happening. They're stuck on the roof. And you pretty much have a conversation between Morgan and June, where June's looking for direction, and Morgan's like, I don't know what the hell to do. What are you asking me? He's kind of laughing. And then he's like, and then she basically, makes a statement that, well, pretty much you'll figure something out. You got to get us out of here. You'll figure something out, basically, is what they're really saying here, that we'll figure something out here. So you have all this happening at once. You have an episode that's loaded with a lot of different, scenes and a lot of different, some different environments as you're going through. It wasn't bottled off. You got to see a bunch of zombies. You got to see some action against Martha. You got to see the villain kind of, the filthy lady, Martha's introduction, or how she became, we understand now how she became the crazy clear lady, or the filthy lady, and how she kind of sort of became interested in Morgan to start with, and what's been going on with that. So, wow. So based on what they included in the episode and what the episode had to work with, I don't feel like the episode itself had a bad layout. It looks like to me like they try to do a bunch of stuff in it, and it should have been really good, right? It should have been pretty epic. You have a whole bunch of zombies. You have, it's not bottled off. You have the encounter with her. You have a villain origin, and you get to see all this stuff in one episode. It's kind of a packed episode, but it just felt so like all over the place, so hard to follow, so strange. even right up until the last scene of the episode where they cut off at the happiest part, which is, in my opinion, just doesn't work. It's like, no, just don't troll the audience. If there's a happy scene in it, let us see the happy scene. Why would you cut it? I don't get it. I don't understand that. Then in addition to that, all the confusion inside the building and just how strange it was with the gray filter and kind of what you saw happening there and them deciding where they were going up to and not being able to really follow well where they were in the building and where they were going. And what was happening exactly. You know, you watch it through, at least for me, and you pretty much get the idea. There's zombies everywhere. There's a few different exits maybe, or staircases maybe, or elevators maybe. They make their way up to the rooftop, most of them, and, you know, I don't know. I don't know. So, in terms of score of this episode, I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10, because it should have been way better than what it was based on what was given for the episode and based on what I would expect to see, considering it's only... You know, we only have 2 episodes left after this one. The season's almost done, and this is where we're at. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, well, eventually the group will get reunited here by the end, probably. Maybe you lose a couple of the newcomers. They get a few of the new people get killed off, probably, and then eventually maybe the villain's defeated in the finale or something. So 2 episodes left for Fear the Walking Dead. I'll be back again soon for my video predictions for what I think will happen. Episode 50 and episode 16. That's, you know, it's a below average episode for me. It's a strange episode. You know, I'm watching it here and I'm thinking to myself, like, this, I don't know. I just don't know. That's what I'm saying here. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I just don't know, right? And that's what it is. I just don't know. So let me know what you guys think. What do you know? What do you think? And do you think I'm being too harsh on the episode? Or were you like me when you're looking at this thinking, this should be really cool, but, you know, and you even have a character death in the episode for Jim. And it just isn't. You know, it just isn't. It just doesn't work in a lot of ways for you. At least that's the way I felt about it. If you like this review, and please, for everybody out there, if you enjoyed the episode, I'm happy for you. That's great. Please don't let me just make you... If you did really enjoy it, and you did really have fun with it, then I'm great. I don't want to just wreck the episode for you to the point where you don't enjoy it anymore or whatever, or seem like I'm just coming across as a dishonest killjoy that's just trying to kill Fear the Walking Dead or something, or just, you know, rant about Fear the Walking Dead all the time. I'm watching this episode through here. I'm comparing this to what we usually expect to see after 160 episodes or whatever for Walking Dead universe. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, this should be a lot better than what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. You can do it at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.